Reza was born in 1976 in a Kurdish village on the border between Iraq and Iran. He didn't have a birth certificate from either country because Kurdish people from his village are not allowed to apply for any certificate or identity card. The Iraqi government thought he was an Iranian spy because he can speak 3 languages: Kurdish, Arabic and Farsi, in an accent that identifies him as being someone from the border. They arrested and tortured him until he finally escaped. His father gave him some money and found people to help him escape to another country. He went to Indonesia and from there he travelled to Australia on an old wooden boat. Australian Customs arrested and transferred them to Woomera Detention Centre, where he spent 2 years.
Well, the government policy back then was that anybody arriving without official papers was sent into a detention centre. Detention has long been a part of immigration policy. It was first written into the law, I think, in 1958. But at the turn of the century, it became a very punitive form of detention. Detention centres were created in remote locations, northwestern Australia at Curtin and Port Hedland, in the remote outback of South Australia at Woomera, and then the notorious Baxter Detention Centre outside of Port Augusta. And they were centres that really resembled jails, and they were very, very difficult for the people who came and were locked up there for indefinite periods.
در اون 2 سالی که من در کمپ بودم هیچ خبری از خانواده‌ام نداشت. اونا هم نمیتونستن به من زنگی چیزی بزنن چون تلفن نداشتن. این باعث شد من عصبی بشم، ناراحت. برخوردشون برخورد خیلی بدی بود، برخورد درستی با من نداشتن.
One of the things about this detention regime was that it was tendered out to privatized security. So the original contract was a company called ACM.
ACM نمیذاشت ما با دیمیا برخورد داشته باشیم. همش هر موقع میخواستیم کاری انجام بدیم یا سوالی کنیم یا نیاز به کسی داشته باشیم، اونا جواب سربالا میدادن. هرگز ما اونا رو به چشم ندیدیم.
We have a translate like 2 person inside, and as soon as the lady say, "Oh, you reject, we felt sorry, just you need to stay here and we do more process, you're not pass, you're not allowed to go out." I feel really bad. I didn't want to stay there. I didn't want to go back home again. When I want to cut myself, one officer, he catch my hand and another 15 come in the top of me. They took care of everything. I didn't have any on. They dragged me like dog. They think I'm dog. They dragged me in the floor for about 20 meters. They took me to the police station for 10 days.
Privatized security is inherently brutal, so they're not really the ideal choice of company or organisation to supervise detention of people who are certainly innocent, people who are traumatised, who often had major mental health care problems.
موقعی که مریض می‌شدی به سختی سخت بود نرس رو ببینی.
The clinicians who worked in the detention centres, reported epidemic levels of mental health problems, of depression, stress, anxiety.
علت دوختن لب‌ها و اعتصاب غذا و تیغ زدن این بود که می‌خواستیم نشون بدیم که بذارن خبرنگارا، تلویزیون، مردم عادی بیان اونجا کمک ما کنن، بیان ببینن شرایط اونجا رو.
I worked a lot with the people with the temporary visas after they'd come out of detention, and they suffered very severe depression certainly, which made it very difficult for them to hold down jobs.
تا حال چند جا رفتم سر کار و بعد از مدت کوتاهی منو اخراج کردم برای اینکه من نمیتونم تمرکزی رو کارم ندارم.
One thing that everybody said is they just could not sleep. They were awake all night, worrying, fretting about their families, ruminating, thinking about the detention experience, and it made life very, very difficult for them because they were constantly tired, had no energy, found it very difficult to hold down jobs.
هر کسی که این دستا رو میبینه فکر میکنه من آدم بدیم و دیگری نمیتونم ورزشی کنم. دوست دارم برم ورزش ولی متاسفانه من نمیتونم برم.
They certainly had all the symptoms of a post-traumatic stress disorder, the agitation, the nightmares, the flashbacks to episodes in the detention centres, the social isolation, withdrawal away from people and from their friends even.
خوابای خیلی بدی میبینم، خواب درست حسابی ندارم، همش کابوس میاد داخل خوابم. کسایی رو میبینم، آدمایی رو که میبینم که با سگاشون دارن راه میرن، منو یاد گذشتم میندازه، یاد اون کمپ میندازه.
People were addressed by a number, so very similar to number plates. So this man particularly was very upset by number plates, and number plates are pretty common things to be around the streets.
در موقع رانندگی همش من این دست رو میبینم. موقعی که این دست رو میبینم منو یاد خاطرات گذشتم میندازه، یاد اون کمپ میندازه. چندین سال من از کمپ بیرونم. تو این چندین سال من نتونستم یه دوست استرالیایی پیدا کنم. به نظر من اثرات کمپ بوده که من نذاشته من یه دوست خوب استرالیایی پیدا کنم. من خیلی بیقرارم، همیشه ناراحتم، نروسم، ناراحتی‌های زیادی دارم درون خودم، افسردم. این بزرگترین مشکل منه که افسردگی رو دارم و هرگز فکر نمی کنم جداشه از من این موقعی که میخوام از دست خاطرات گذشته رو کمکی فراموش کنم یا از لحاظ روحی تحت فشارم، با روانشناسم در رابطم زنگ میزنم، بعضی اوقات میرم میبینمش، بعد با او حرفایی که اون میزنه، حرفای مثبتی که اون به من میزنه منو آروم میکنه، منو از کمکی از خاطرات گذشتم از دور میکنه. بعضی اوقات هم که نمیتونم به اون دسترسی ندارم، خودم رو مشغول میکنم، یه چند تا کبوتر دارم، خودم رو مشغول میکنم با کبوترها، شستن ماشین. سولی because خاطرات گذشته رو همیشه میاره جلو چشمای من، مثل یه نواری که برمیگرده خاطرات من همش مرور میشه جلو چشم.
The numbers of refugees coming into Australia has stayed steady for the last 10 years. The ratios have gone up and down to some extent, but we're not being swamped by any means.